We are on the cusp of like completely changing the world.
That's one of the most important things that the Hummer EV needs to do, shift what the perception of what an electric truck is.
When you put a group of people together that love what they're doing, the results are unstoppable.
You have to become the vehicle and just know everything about it and give your whole self to it.
We are reinventing the way we do vehicles.
So, what are we here to talk about? March 29th, guys, I was in the Rensen. That's when Mary, Mark, and me talked. So March 29th when Hummer started.
So the day one was the hand-picked people that we wanted on the team.
So then we started building, that day, we started building what our day one plan was. So we started putting names together of like who we need to bring in.
And then you guys really wanted to get design and engineering together.
Yeah, so that's when we brought in the energy team, we brought the drive unit guys in.
We had some suggestions for names.
Yep, and then, you know, all the battery team. And that's when we like started having discussions. GM is steeped in a lot of best practices and learnings from 100 years plus of creating vehicles. And some of that it needs to be there because that's how we make safe vehicles and great vehicles for customers. But some of it is we need to break those norms, right? Doing things the same way. Just asking the question why is a big deal.
Also, it's been one of those things to try and convince people to understand that we're not just abandoning what we've done, we're trying to build on it. So knowing all those best practices and valuing what they are, but then saying it's okay to do it different, right? And being unconstrained, being free to think and empowering our team to, asking, well, what's your opinion? Do you understand why we've done it that way, but can we do it better?
Yeah, I can remember, I think Mark had the original idea, like, what if a Hummer was the electric truck? Once that idea kind of came out, the thing got traction like crazy fast.
You know, when we start looking at some of the electric vehicles we have done in our past, you know, all the way back to EV1, we had never really thought about doing a really amazing truck. And the last sort of super trucks that we did were, you know, internal combustion engine based, and they were Hummers. You know, we wanted to make a big statement, and we wanted to bring back sort of the antithesis of what an internal combustion engine Hummer was. Sort of blew everybody's mind when we told everybody what it was going to be and what it was going to be able to do. And I think it was a fundamental part of the creativity of the teams too, because it unleashed everything that we knew could be possible.
So Mary's like, okay, well, she threw out the start date, September of 21. And then, yeah, we just started to build the team. And I don't need a big team to lay a foundation. I need a couple of architects. So I think that probably Al, Scott, Kath, Colville. It was just kind of like, cool, go do it. And like, that was it.
The vision for the Hummer EV is twofold. Number one, it's to create an electric vehicle that introduces our new 0-0-0 strategy with GM, which is zero crashes, zero emissions, and zero congestion. Do that by creating a halo vehicle like the Hummer EV and take away the excuses why somebody wouldn't want to consider an EV. The second thing we're doing with the Hummer is we've been challenged to do it on a very aggressive time frame. Normally a vehicle program with any manufacturer takes around 4 years. We were asked to do it in just over 2. I have been working for General Motors since 1985. I've had some tremendous jobs. I had some performance groups where we did the Bonneville Salt Flats World Speed Record Team, and then eventually I was asked to be the chief engineer of the 5th Gen Camaro, bring it back. I was working on the 6th Gen. It was Motor Trend Car of the Year. I mean, there was no downside to the Camaro. Takes us up to a couple years ago. I had a meeting on my calendar with Mark Royce. We're gonna be moving you over to electric vehicles. In my mind, it was going from the job that I couldn't have dreamed more about, and I thought I was gonna walk out as the Camaro chief, and now I'm not that. And it was pretty hard. And then basically I kind of retrenched and said, you know what, it's actually kind of cool. I'm in my mid-50s and I'm getting the opportunity to learn something new, electric vehicles. And I said, I'm gonna give it everything I got for the EV world, and let's go. That's about the time where I came over to work for Josh Tavel, who was the executive chief over this new assignment of creating a battery electric truck.
We are on the cusp of like completely changing the world. Like we say that and it's just true in my mind. I am all in to make this company what we know it can be. And we've shown how amazing we can be. And we've got to get that on these other programs. Do you trust your people or do you trust your process? In the end, that's what it comes down to. I guess, you know, when I say this has to happen, like, I'm going to be part of changing the world. And my way of doing that, I'm a car dude. It's gonna be around the automotive industry. We're kind of change agents in my mind, and we show what can be possible. And my expectation is we're gonna do this and we're gonna make the company do this. At times, you know, in history, you hit points where you need to make radical shifts and you need to make them quick. And this is one of those times. We can't sit back and watch cool stuff be done. We've got to be the ones making everybody else uncomfortable.
What is Factory Zero? It's the epicenter of General Motors' vision: zero crashes, zero emissions, and zero congestion. With our launch of our super truck, well, we want to launch it at this date. What does it take? So we've been kind of writing that process as we've been executing the program. Kind of a state of the shop right now. I'm happy to say that we're done with our main demolition phase of the plant floor and we're full on installation. We've been at this, I would say, just a little over a year now, you know, to do the full demo and to get to the state of installation that we're at right now within a year is unprecedented, not only in the company, but probably in the industry. Crazy fast, crazy fast.
What is Ultium? This is the platform allow us to accommodate the future technology development and reduce the cost and speed up the technology development process. That's the most important thing for us. This platform will provide a lot of capability. It will be the driver for us to expand the EV platform. Ultium is the key for our all-electric future, and it's also a key enabler for us to deliver globally 30+ EV platform through 2025.
Right now, we're in our development center for everything Ultium. This is a place where we pre-test the batteries. The Ultium really starts with a fundamental building block. It's this battery cell that's just like a big laptop cell, but it's specifically designed for the heavy-duty automotive application. And from an architecture point of view, to be upgradable. And so it has no end to it. We're finally to the point now where we know that the cell can work and we know that the pack can work, and now we're ready to go to the integration vehicles and actually realize what this technology can mean to our customers.
So what's happening today is this is our actual first vehicle that is going as close to design as we intend to give it to production. So now it has to go through its testing cycle, it has to go through all its processes. Engineers get a crack at it. This first vehicle is going to cold weather testing.
I just wanted to say a couple of words before we embark on something that's just legendary. It's 19 months now that a small group of us started sketching what we were going to do to change GM's future. You are now the model of every program that comes after us and how to do things fast and epic. This doesn't happen without everything you all did. First steps outside. And there it is. Our little one has grown up. It's now the world's truck.
So we're up at the Smithers Winter Test Facility up in the UP of Michigan. It's a nice and balmy 2 degrees today. The thing I take the most joy from is being able to see them come in as these really rough vehicles, right? Everything functions on them, but they need some refinement and some work.
We were wondering who that was.
Yeah. I thought it was either Andrew or...
I'm glad you're embracing the Oh, you put that on there?
That was from go-karting like a couple years ago. Yeah.
All right. Point of this meeting, right, is to try to figure out what is our status for tomorrow. So we jumped in the truck this morning, and after Jim flashed in, I guess, your latest cows as of last night, it just completely changed the nature of the truck. We can't climb the 15% grade anymore. Traction control, all the progress was made over the weekend was completely rolled back.
We had a performance expectation of this, and we're struggling to try to get somewhere in the middle there. And I think that's been the frustrating thing of it. And it's been frustrating because, like you said, just limitations and just time spent.
The way it is right now, I think we almost have to make a decision. When do we cut winter loose and then go start focusing in on your high-co and off-road stuff?
We can't leave winter test until everybody's happy. It's kind of, we're at that point of all hands on deck.
Okay.
I mean, so I wish I could throw you like hey, this is what we think you should do, and this is going to be something that we think is acceptable. But I don't know, I feel like we're in the middle of kind of the fight right now, and like I don't have high confidence that we could say, yeah, this will save us a ton of time, and this is going to be what gets you to production on time. That's the scary part.
I guess we're burning daylight. Why don't we try and work through what changed from yesterday to today? I'll call a few folks. I think we need full support out here from propulsion side starting tomorrow and in the next whatever duration of time. I think we can light whatever fires are necessary and get them out here.
This whole program is just, we're doing this in 9 months from first prototype to production. A normal program is 2 or 3 times that length. So we don't have time. And then when you throw the invention of the propulsion system on top of it, we have, calibration engineers here. We have a software specialist who's literally just tearing into software. He's looking at certain aspects of the data that these folks aren't looking at, and they are learning and inventing on the fly.
Just let it go, man. Okay, lane change.
This thing's scary fast here.
Yeah. You guys had me all worried during that meeting. This is good. Nice work, Lauren.
Thanks. Team's been working very hard.
Got a little bit of time in the vehicle, first exposure, right, out here. Overall, very impressed. So, from where we were, a month ago, a week ago, even this morning, to where we are now, quite impressive, and I'm very pleased with it.
Morning, Drew. Oh, there's the team.
Morning.
Yeah, welcome to the Hummer EV winter buy-off. It's supposed to be a pretty small event. That didn't turn out to be the case. Before we really even get too far into it, mostly throw some recognition out to the team. This is week 7 up here of anywhere from 5 to 7 day a week work. Big thanks to everybody that's been up here. The all-wheel drive team has been up here every day. I know it's been a bit frustrating and trying at times, but I think it's been a lot of work to get where you are today. Pretty excited to show everyone the truck. Okay. Cool. So yeah, we'll have myself. I'll be in truck 2. You're gonna be in truck 3. That way we'll have data for every comment, and obviously we'll be writing down complaints, good, bad, or otherwise. And the intent will be come back and chat through any glaring issues, anything you're concerned about. We'll start with you 2 guys, since Mike and Aaron spent quite a bit of time in the truck yesterday. And all right, let's do it. If you want, cut it to the left, and just accelerate that way, and then cut it back to the right. Try to do some big yaw type maneuvers.
This is like effortless. It's very seamless. I mean, there's no jerky body roll.
Just keep going, and you'll feel we're doing is we're grabbing inside rear brake, and it just throws us around.
That was nice. Yeah, this is dialed in.
I mean this in a very positive way. Both of those runs were very uneventful.
That's exactly what we wanted to hear.
Nicely done, guys.
Thank you. It's been fun.
I want to say I was surprised, but I'm not surprised because this team's awesome. But the results in the vehicle exceeded my expectations. I felt like I was driving a vehicle that's ready for a customer. I mean, we obviously have parts and things that are missing, but as far as the vehicle dynamics, we're just about there, ready for our customer. So we're just about done with our winter testing, and then we'll focus the next phase on our warm weather, off-road, rock crawling, and all that part of the program.
Well, Hummer EV, the beginning of it was kind of, I would say, fast and furious. Immediately, we knew the challenge was going to be, just massive. There wasn't any architecture that we had in our portfolio that can really do this job. So that meant that it was going to be a clean sheet of paper. We're starting basically from nothing. From a design perspective, that's what we love to do. We love to be as inventive and as creative as possible. Innovation really does spur the kind of creative mind and kind of get you to new solutions. The sketches really represent the vision and where you want to go. And I think all of us designers are just amazingly optimistic. Sketches are kind of the most ideal form of what this car or truck or, SUV can be. As a designer, what you're looking to do is really kind of capture somebody's heart before you're capturing somebody's head.
Our challenge was to really change the paradigm of what Hummer was. We didn't want Hummer to look like it went to bed for 10 years and then just reappeared. So we had to reinvent what the vehicle was. Part of what we needed to do is to make sure the vehicle always had a presence. It always felt robust. It always felt like it could go anywhere. But we also needed to design in some of the high-tech cues.
If you ask what was the goal was simple. Super lights for a super truck. You start with an idea, and the job of creative design is to build on that always, right? You want to retain the big picture, the big idea, and slowly start making it better. So you will see that everything in the lamp's front, rear, and on the top, they all look and feel like monolithic chunks of crystal. And crystal is good for light. The tail lamp was a very interesting experiment. We knew, based on our crystal story, what we wanted was sorted out with one single prototype. And the minute we showed it to our leadership, everyone loved it. And that actually set very early on what the tail lamp is going to look like. So that was easy.
You don't just go fast, but in order to go fast, you need to be confident on what you want to do. You need to be direct. The team knew that we had to get it done, and you don't second guess. You don't have time to second guess. So if it felt right, go, do it, and then move on to the next.
When we knew how challenging it was, and then we knew that there was a time, it was like kind of that JFK speech.
We meet in an hour of change and challenge.
We're going to go to the moon.
We choose to go to the moon.
And we're going to do it by the end of the decade.
And it will be done before the end of this decade.
This is like a moonshot. That kind of spirit of the project was brought into the design aesthetic.
We're always trying to tell a story, whether it be in the details or with a larger experience. The feeling that we wanted the driver to have, even if they're in a normal driving scenario, they look at these graphics, the technicality, the precision, the animation, they feel empowered, that they know just by looking at the graphics how capable that they are behind the wheel of this vehicle. It was the first project that we used the Unreal Engine. So as far as the infotainment system is concerned, anywhere you see an image of a vehicle or a vehicle that looks 3D, this is the first time we've used a real-time 3D engine, not only to create those assets, but in some instances, drive it on the display. We had a lofty goal to make it unequivocally, you're gonna look at it and know that that's Hummer. It's not an interface that could be confused for anything else. Visually, it couldn't belong in anything else but a Hummer.
General Motors Design was the first design studio. Harley Earl was the one that kind of invented automotive design, and that design and fashion and style really matter when you're trying to sell and market vehicles. You know, sculpting and clay sculpting was really invented by General Motors Design, and it was invented here. And so I think the team here takes great pride that this is kind of the genesis of automotive design.
As you work in the building here, you just think about the previous designers and the history that went through this building. The company was really set up on design, and that's what its success was. It was going beyond where the competition was. And we're getting more back to that feeling of take risks, move forward, and more setting trends than following trends.
We are reinventing the way we do vehicles. When Josh gave me the call and had asked for me to be a part of the team, it's kind of one of these, I had just come in at the tail end of the team starting, and it was really, really cool to see how different we all were and how we were all kind of handpicked for a special reason. We knew that we had this intense deadline, so how do we cut out all this time and go faster? My role was specifically to contribute to that. We know we just can't go faster. We're a lean company. We don't have fat in our processes and things like that. We've already done so much improvement over, years and years. So it was one of those challenges where we have to really be creative and think different. If we don't learn and change, we won't be here. And our future depends on us literally figuring some of this out.
When we find a problem, we can't afford to sit and talk about it for months on end while we try to solve it. It's much quicker to just solve it. So find a problem, fix it. Find a problem, fix it. The whole thing has been invigorating. Every day you've got challenges or problems or whatever you want to call them, but because it's so short, you want to get them behind you, you're invigorated every day to move the ball down the field. The meat of it is there. It's got all the torque we need, we know that. Our analysis said it and the physical truck agrees, but we got to refine it to tame it. Unleash it when it needs to be unleashed. It can be raw in those cases, but it's got to be real refined, and that's what we're working on now, making it polished. It is an engineering project, but there's art to it too. The human machine is really more observant than any computer. Computers are getting pretty good, but the car is full of computers and full of parts designed by computers, but the human machine is pretty amazing. There's always going to be that artistic piece of making it feel right.
Program is kind of unique because we do have a little bit more of a diverse Cal team than we've seen in the past. So that's been a really interesting thing to be a part of, and I'm really proud to be a part of it. We've never done something like this before, so we're going fast and inventing as we're doing it. So it requires you to be on your feet, thinking fast, willing to put in extra hours, willing to come up with innovative solutions to problems. It's an opportunity to learn and really make your mark because no one else is there to tell you how to do it. You have to figure it out. So this is my opportunity to bring new technologies or bring new ways of doing things into GM's development process.
The amount of progress we've made is unbelievable. Now, we've only had trucks since December, so 10 months is pretty unreal. I've talked to a few people that said, you know, when you look at where we're at now versus where we'll be even on Saturday after we release our next round of software and our CALs, we are right about there. So we're headed to the wind tunnel right now to understand how much drag the vehicle shape is going to induce. We can make little surface tweaks to the vehicle to actually unlock more range. The other purpose is to help collect some data along with that drag to really help us predict what state of charge you'll be when you get to that destination. It's been pretty intense, you know, from day one. You know, we're all in it together. Everyone's making sacrifices. Everyone is passionate about what the product is that we're putting out, as well as what we're doing for the greater organization. It's not a small task to take on for the first program. And when you combine that with all the invention and that short timetable, it is going to strain things outside of work, which is stuff we all kind of knew coming in and signed up for. We're all on board with it. So all of us on the team are pretty proud and happy to see it come over the finish line.
It's gonna be Mrs. Corey, huh? Mrs. Corey.
I'm Drew Mitchell. I'm a vehicle performance engineer, and we're about to jump this truck. The truck did really well. So, you know, trying to jump the truck, trying to get some air, really checking for our torque and safety monitors. Got good data on it. Third run we went out, truck performed flawlessly, nothing broke, nothing's leaking. As far as I know, all the parts are still on it, so it's a good day.
So this is a new purchase. This is a 1959 Chevy Apache. This is the new edition. It's going to probably get a little lower stance, and it'd be sweet to put a badass EV drivetrain in it, but it's probably going to get a giant LS engine in it. Just to screw around, go get ice cream and be loud. It'll be fun.
You know, really, if I look back at the jobs I've held before, the reason I kind of got some of those was because I was a car guy. And the only way people know you're a car guy is if you talk about your stupid projects you got on at home. I've worked on cars most of my life. You know, kind of in the beginning, my car days was out of necessity. Very blue-collar family. Drove a really old vehicle that always broke. And then it kind of became a hobby of mine, mostly in the off-road space. Then I started doing what was called rock crawling, which is a little more extreme, kind of slow, some competition and stuff. And then I realized going fast is a lot better than going slow. And I got hooked on what's called Ultra 4 racing. And it's kind of like a trophy truck, but four-wheel drive. And instead of driving through the desert and around the mountain, you drive through the desert and over the mountain. I put my heart and soul in that. You know, I built my own vehicles, designed my own suspension. You know, and then it was a little bit of happenstance. You know, I'm pretty good with software. You merge those two things together, the Hummer EV is perfect. Dream job, really. I mean, it's not, actually not a dream job. It's not even a job. Crab walk. You know, I had before I did the go fast stuff, I actually had one of my rock crawlers had rear steer. And I knew, you know, how you would use that in a true, legit off-road case, right? Not a PowerPoint presentation, sitting there thinking about it, I've done it. You know, the air suspension going up and down. You know, again, you know, that racing background. Sometimes I'd want my truck tall, sometimes I'd want it short, depending on the course or whatever. You know, I brought all that stuff into the Hummer EV. My racing peers, I want everybody to know it's legitimate. It's not a half-ass attempt. We went all out. You know, it's great for the masses, but I don't want any of my buddies to say, yeah, that's neat. No, I want them to say it's awesome. You know, a little cheesy. It was my destiny, man. This is what I was, you know, all my experiences and my hobbies and my career have kind of led me to here. It was kind of what I was meant to do.
I think we'll lead in that one right now, and we can put the four Hummer Electrics behind it, and then 2 ZR2s. All right.
Let's peel out. So 007 will ride in normal. I'll drop the height down to regular. Seems like in terrain mode, I like how light it is at the low speeds, but at the high speed, like when somebody does go faster, I think it should be a little heavier. We should put these two buttons next to each other.
You need this screen here and then the other view
Yeah.
on the side of it.
That underbody camera is awesome.
Yeah, I know.
Because you can see that rock flip right out.
I agree, yeah.
I'm really glad we did that. That was awesome. Awesome. Good work. Thanks, brother. That was great.
It's hilarious.
Detroit based.
I hear it every day, yeah. Yep.
of turn, a lot of turn. Perfect. Nice.
Well, we haven't had too much of a difficult time yet, but it's kind of interesting though that we have to add rain to our fun, which is just going to make some of these rocks slick. It should be okay.
If you back up about a foot, just roll into that with a little momentum. Your wheels can come back towards me a little bit as you go back. Straight, right there, and then as you come up, just give it a little driver.
That's a steep climb.
One more. Same maneuver, just one more time. Uh-oh. Saw that. There's a tie rod.
Tie rod done.
There you go.
It moved.
It was fine. You want to go rears down too?
I think you got it. I think you got it.
There we go. Woo!
Clear!
Yep, everybody's clear.
Or do you want us to stay down here with it?
That's good timing for finishing up.
Good timing for it to quit raining too.
Yeah. There you go. Nice. All right, nothing to see here. Let's move on, eh?
So we came out today on the Poisonous Spider run, and we were met with a little bit of weather and bent a tie rod on a pretty aggressive, I'd say that thing was at least a 20% grade, uphill, narrow trail, and it was the lead vehicle. So it backed everybody up for a while, and two of our technicians, one from Milford and one from Yuma, changed a tie rod on the trail. Just amazing. Safely and successfully. But the rain's just such that we're gonna go back downhill and regroup, talk about things we learned today, and then try it again tomorrow.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. Ay, what you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. She appreciate that I'm cool.
We've been waiting for 2 years. You know, we talk about coming to Moab. It's all about learning this week, getting this much torque and this much power. Can't overdo it. Got to maintain the torque at each wheel. So where they started on Monday before I came here, I had a chance to work through a bunch of issues. We learned some things. We had some mishaps, you know, with the tie rods and so on, but we learned, and we're already talking to our team back in Detroit to work on improvements. And we're here to break things this week. Sounds crazy, but if we break them here and fix them, then our customers won't ever see that. They'll never know we did this, so that they don't have these experiences on some of the things we had happen this week. So from that perspective, it's been really successful. And in parallel to that, this whole mission's been about creating an urgent team, what we're asking people to do so fast. If you can have moments of levity, you know, with all the things that our team has done to try to get people on camera to laugh, it's all part of it. And you know, you bond more, and that's part of the importance of these ride trips. So as much as it is about making this vehicle perfect, it's about making the team perfect.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that in slow motion.
Right now we're in Factory Zero in the body shop where the trucks get made. So this will then go over to the GA line, which is where all the interior and all the other components go on. And then it'll go into the final testing where the software goes in, gets a few more checks, and then it'll be ready.
This is the pinnacle of over 2.5 years of work. We had targeted to build the first production VIN 1 in September 21. Today we get to celebrate because we are in September and we have production VIN 1. Kind of emotional to actually see that 00001 makes all the hard work, the blood, sweat, and tears all worth it. I mean, we have the best team in the world. I'm sure if the camera wasn't on, I'd probably be crying right now. So.
Well, you know, the team that was picked here broke many of the old execution hardware-based rules, and they took no prisoners on getting that done. They really moved mountains and changed processes, and they changed this company forever. I'm so proud of them. The Hummer EV transforms our electric future to zero crashes, zero congestion, and zero emissions. The speed with which we did it was faster than anybody else, with an all-new platform, all new cells developed in-house, all new manufacturing of those cells in our new cell plants, and the conversion of Factory Zero.
At this time, I want to invite one of our team members to come up and put the seal of approval on the vehicle.
We just made it yours. First one.
Yay! It's truly amazing. You know, when we did the celebration, the first thing that came to mind was, we did it.
You know, I have 3 kids, and I want us to leave a mark that is transformational in terms of the environment, because the company is a high-volume, mass manufacturer of many different products for many different pockets. We have a tremendous opportunity and, frankly, a responsibility to make that happen, and that's what we're doing.
Hummer EV rolling off the line really represents the best of General Motors. Being our first truck in the EV world, I think, is very, very significant. really going to show the way of the capability and recreate the franchise that we have today in internal combustion engines into the EV world. I've been at General Motors for more than 40 years, and this is the most exciting time in my career because really this is a once-in-a-generation transformation, and I'm humbled to be able to lead so many talented people. Give the team a clear mission, empower them, as opposed to them giving reports up to us. It was tell us what you need, whether you need quick decisions or you need to get in front of us, for funding or whatever it is, set them free and they will do amazing things.
One of the main goals for this program is to bring excitement to battery electric vehicles from customer base that maybe wouldn't normally consider them. As a test engineer, we're in new test vehicles all the time. In this case, it's so much. It's so extreme in so many ways, so unlike anything we've done before. You find yourself, even as a seasoned test driver, that I gotta dial this back a little bit, right? I gotta keep a straight face. It's the first time in it, it's like, wow, this thing is insane.
When you really sit down and you look at what the vision is of where our senior leaders and our board and where we're driving, it is very different than other companies. And I can't fathom how that team could reinvent a company that's 100 years old, but they did it. Things are going to change incredibly fast. I think you could put any current automotive company out of business 10 years from now if the responses aren't appropriate. This is going to change the landscape of automobiles in my mind. Therefore, I'm going to say this is going to change the world.
I see us as a company of really, truly leading the world with so much of the benefit that comes from electric vehicles. Hummer is just a little bit of the insight of what's to come.
There's tons of companies that talk about electric cars, and they create maybe a buzz, but they don't really create an emotion. Like, that's the day we're successful. On the mission, number one. Mission number two of changing the company, that's underway. Like, I would call that already a success. The 5 of us that started this thing, we love the project. I think love is probably the right word. I think everybody needs to see that, when you put a group of people together that love what they're doing, the results are unstoppable.
Eventually it opens up into this, math, I don't know what you call it. I think we talked a while back about, when I got brought into EVs, it was to make EVs real, right? And make them kind of, no kidding vehicles, not science projects, right? So I think we checked that one off the box pretty good on this truck. I've been part of a lot of teams, and this one is different. What do you say, because the breadth of what it took to go do a project like this it's just insane. There's always problems. I mean, God, we had steel shortages and COVID and work from home and everything, macro and geo that's kind of happened on this program has been pretty insane. And they've kept it on time, they've kept the quality right. I know that people are going to love the truck. That's awesome. And to me, it's about what's the next step. When we were out in Pyramid Point yesterday, you look out over Lake Michigan, you just see all of that, and what this truck and what the future vehicles are going to, do to be able to keep that, so my girl can go up there with her kids and stuff like that. That's pretty cool, right? That's more of kind of what I focus about. It's cool to have been a part of the team to make something like this, but for me, it's more about the longer vision. I love this truck, no doubt about it.
We're here today for a couple reasons. One, we're here to highlight the opportunity to buy the very first production GMC Hummer EV. And number two is it's for a great charity, so we hope to make a huge amount of money.
Now for another charity cause.
That's what I'm talking about. Awesome. It's awesome.
Heck yes. Heck yes. That was sweet. That was cool.
2.5.
Jump on the back, on the roof.
You look good, President.
This sucker is something else.